Good morning, girls. Today we are going to learn Introduction to Business Economics. So, first, economics. What is economics? It is defined as a social science which covers the actions of individuals and groups of individuals in the process of producing, enhancing the consuming of goods and services to achieve optimization of resource use. It is defined as a social science which covers the actions of individuals and groups of individuals in the process of producing, enhancing, and or consuming of goods and services to achieve optimization of resource use. So, production decisions, exchange decisions, consumption decisions. According to Lord Roberts, economics is the science which studies human behavior as a relationship between ends and scarce means which have alternative uses. Business economics. It deals with the decisions making and forward planning in uncertainty and integrates economic theory with business practice for the purpose of facilitating decision making and forwarding planning by management. It is a science that deals with the application of various economic theories, principles, concepts, and techniques to business management in order to solve business and management problems. According to Spencer and Simon, business economic is the integration of economic theory with business practice for the purpose of facilitating decision making and forward planning by the management. Application. Use of optimum techniques to improve organizational decision. Understanding individual and market demand decisions to forecast demand. Analyze cost and supply structure to understand supply decisions. Understanding markets. Understanding external factors like unemployment, inflation. Use of optimum techniques to improve organizational decisions, understanding individual and market demand decisions to forecast demand, analyze cost and supply structure to understand supply decisions, understanding markets, understanding external factors like unemployment and inflation. Now, characteristics. Microeconomics nature. Business economics is microeconomic in its nature because it deals with matters of a particular business from only. Use of economic theories. Business economics uses all economic theories relating to the profits, distribution of income, etc. Normative science. Business economics is a normative science. It studies the matters concerning the aims and objectives of a business firm. It determines the methods to be adopted for achieving such objectives. It also makes inquiry into the goods and bad in decision making, hence, it is a normative science. Macroeconomic uses. Even though business economics has the nature of microeconomics, it also uses macroeconomics approaches frequently. Certain matters in macroeconomics like business cycles, national income, public finance, foreign trade, etc., are essential for business economics. So, business economics uses the macroeconomic phenomenon for taking business decisions. Economics is a science or an art. It is considered as science if it is a systemized body of the knowledge which studies the relationship between cause and effect. Art is nothing but practice of knowledge, whereas science teaches us to know and art teaches us to do. If it is science, in which methodology and art in its application. Scope. Demand forecasting. Every business initiates and continues its production process on the basis of the anticipation of more demand for its goods. Every business firm initiates an anticipation of its production process on the basis of the anticipation of more demand for its goods. So, it makes research and conducts market survey with a view to know the taste and fashions of the consumers. It pulls up the resources and starts productions for meeting the future demand. Business economics analyzes the demand, behavior, and forecasts the quantity demand by the consumer. Cost analysis. Business economics deals with the analysis of different costs incurred by the business firm. Every firm desires to minimize its cost and increase its output by securing several economics of scale. Business economics deals with the cost estimates and acquaints the entrepreneurs with the cost analysis of their firm. Profit analysis. Every business firm aims to secure maximum profits, but at the same time, it faces uncertainty and risk in getting profits. Business economics deals with the matters relating to profit analysis like profit, techniques, policies, and break-even analysis. Capital management. Capital management is another topic deal in business economics. It studies market like cost of capital, rate of return, selection of best projects, etc. and etc. So, business economics deals with the analysis of different costs incurred by the business firm. Every firm desires to minimize its cost and increase its output by securing several economics of scale. Business economics deals with the cost estimates and acquaints the entrepreneurs with the cost analysis of their firm. Profit analysis. Every business firm aims to secure maximum profits, but at the same time, it faces uncertainty and risk is getting profits. Business economics deals with the matters relating to profit analysis like profit techniques, policies, and break even analysis. Capital management. Capital management is another topic dealt in business economics. It studied matter like cost of capital, rate of return, selection for best project, etc. Importance of business economics. Business economics is a useful subject. In fact, it is the most significant of all social sciences. Its study is highly useful for analyzing and understanding the various economic problems. Its study brings utility to all sections of the people. Business economics became the intellectual religion of the day. Business economics is described as the intellectual religion of the day. Business economics is described as both light giving and fruit burning science. It enriches our knowledge and brings results. Significance. Useful to the finance minister. The study of business economics is highly useful to the finance minister and the personnel working in the finance department. It provides a good knowledge about public revenue, public debt, and public expenditure. It helps them in informing a sound financial policy and result oriented budget. Useful to the minister for planning. The study of business economics is also useful to the Minister for Planning and its personnel. It furnished a good knowledge about the various types of plans, mobilization, plan implementation, capital output ratio, investment strategy, and etc. So, useful to the Finance Minister and useful to the Minister for Planning. Useful to the banker. Business economics is also useful to the bankers. It enables them to understand the nature, purpose, and implications of different economic policies implemented by the business firms. Trade union leaders. Knowledge of business economics is also significant for the trade union leaders. The study of business economics helps the trade union leaders to understand the nature and causes of industrial disputes, wages problems, and etc. Businessman. Business economics is also useful to the businessman. Businessman, with the help of business economics, can study the fluctuations in business, prices, production, and employment. They can adopt a proper strategy for producing goods and services according to the changes in demand. Statesman. Statesmen will also get benefit by studying business economics. It enables them to understand the nature and causes of economic problems. It helps them to solve the economic problems like unemployment, inflation, scarcity of goods, etc. So, business economics is also useful to the businessman. Businessman, with the help of business economics, can study the fluctuations in business, prices, productions, and employment. They can adopt a proper strategy for producing goods and services according to the changes in the demand. Statesmen. Statesmen will also get benefit by studying business economics. It enables them to understand the nature and causes of economic problems. It helps them to solve the economic problems like unemployment, inflation, scarcity of goods, etc. International economic problems. International economic is an important branch of economics. It deals with the matters like terms of trade, balance of payment, export and import regulations, etc. Its knowledge enables the international agencies to determine the foreign exchange value of various national currencies. Its study is useful to all sections of the people. Now, demand. What is demand? The demand for a commodity refers to the amount of it which will be bought per unit of a time at a particular price. Demand in economics means effective demand for a commodity. That is, one should have desire for a commodity or service, willingness to pay its price, ability to pay its price. These demand in economic means effective demand for a commodity. That is, one should have desire for a commodity or service, willingness to pay to price, ability to pay its price. Direct demand and derived demand. Direct demand for consumption goods. Goods and services that satisfy consumer desires. Derived demand, these are sometimes called intermediate goods. For example, demand for steel, an intermediate good is derived from the demand for final goods. For example, automobiles. Now, individual demand. Individual demand refers to the demand for a commodity from the individual point of view. That quantity of good a consumer would buy at a given price during a given period of time in his individual demand for that particular good. Individual demand. Individual demand refers to the demand for a commodity from the individual point of view. That quantity of a good a consumer would buy at a given price during the given period of time in his individual demand for the particular good. Market demand. Market demand refers to the total demand of all the buyers taken together. Law of demand. The general tendency of consumers' behavior in demanding a commodity in relation to the changes in its price described by the law of demand. It states that the consumer demands more of the good at the lower price and vice versa, other things being constant. The quantity of a good demanded is negatively related to price of the good. Law of demand. When the prices goes up, the quantity demanded goes down. The relationship between price and quantity is inverse. When the price goes down, the quantity demanded goes up. Law of demand. When the price goes up, the quantity demanded goes down. The relationship between price and quantity is inverse. When the price goes down, the quantity demanded goes up. The law of demand can be illustrated with the help of a demand schedule. That is, as the price of a commodity decreased, the corresponding quantity demanded for that commodity increased and vice versa. A demand schedule for wheat. Price of wheat per kg 5 rupees. So quantity of demand is 10 rupees. When the price of wheat is decreasing to 4, the demand will increasing by 20. When the price is increasing to 3 rupees, the demand is increasing up to 30 kgs. When the price is increasing or 2 rupees, the quantity of demand is increasing at 40. When the price is decreasing at 1 rupee 1, the quantity of demanded is increasing at 50. So this is the demand curve. Here we are showing here, this is the demand curve, this is the price unit, and this is the quantity. Certain point the price and demand will be the same, and sometimes when the price is going up and demand will going down. When the price is going down and demand, the quantity of the demanded will be obviously that will be high. Determinants of demand: own price, income of the consumer, price of the goods, complementary substitutes, taste and preferences, expectations of future prices. Once again, determinants of the demands: own price, income of the consumer, price for the other goods, complementary substitutes, taste and preferences, expectations of future prices. Assumptions of the law: no change in consumer's income. Throughout the operation of the law, the consumer's income should remain the same. If the level of the buyer's income changes, he may buy more even at a higher price, invalidating the law of demand. No change in consumers' preferences. The consumer's tastes, habits, and preferences should remain constant. No change in fashion. If the commodity concerned goes out of fashion, a buyer may not buy more of it, even at a substantial price reduction. No change in weather condition. It is assumed that the climatic and weather conditions are unchanged in affecting the demand for certain goods. No change in government policy. The level of taxation and fiscal policy of the government remain the same throughout the operation of the law. Otherwise, the changes in income tax for instance may cause changes in consumers' income, or commodity taxes may lead to disruptions in consumers' preferences. Reasons for downward sloping demand curve. Income effect. When the price of the commodity falls, consumer's real income rises. That is, he can now purchase more of the commodity with the same of the income. Substitution effect. When price of a commodity falls, it becomes cheaper than its substitute goods. So the users of substitute goods would shift their consumption to the given good, and therefore the quality demanded of the commodity will rise. Law of diminishing marginal utility. It states the satisfaction derived from a commodity will diminish from every successive unit. So, the consumer would willing to pay less and less for each successive unit. Exceptions. Giffen goods. In case of certain inferior goods called giffen goods, when the price falls, quite often less quantity will be purchased than before because of the negative income effect and people's increasing preference for a superior commodity with the rise in the real income. Few appropriate examples may be listed, such as cheap potatoes, cheap bread, vegetables, ghee, etc., as against superior commodities like goods, potatoes, cake, and pure ghee. Commodities which are used as status symbols. Some expensive commodities like diamonds, expensive cars, etc., are used as status symbols to display one's wealth. The more expensive the commodities become, the higher their value, a status symbol, and hence the greater the demand for them. The amount demanded of these commodities increase with an increase in their and decrease with a decrease in their price, also known as a Veblen good. Expectations of change in the price of commodity. If a household expects the price of commodity to increase, it may start purchasing greater amount of the commodity even at the presently increased price. Similarly, if the household expects the price of the commodity to decrease, it may postpone its purchase. Thus, some argue that law of demand is violated in such cases. In this case, the demand curve does not slope down from left to right. Instead of presents a backward slope from the top and right to down left. This curve is known as an exceptional demand curve. Now, supply. What is supply? Supply of a commodity means quantity of a commodity which is actually offered for a sale at a given price during the particular period of the time. It is always referred to in relation to price and time. The law of supply. Supply states all other factors remaining unchanged. This can be shown by a supply schedule, a supply curve, or a supply function. The law of supply states there is a direct relationship between price and quantity supplied of a commodity, other things remaining constant. Upward sloping curve, supply curve. The supply is upward sloping because of the law of diminishing marginal productivity, goal of profit maximization. Supply function. In a supply function, the determinants of supply can be summarized as under. Sx is equal to f of px, pf, py, pz, ot, ts. Sx is equal to the supply of commodity of x. Px is equal to the price of x. Pf is equal to the set prices of the factor. Py to pz is equal to the prices of the goods. O is equal to factors outside the economic sphere. T is equal to technology used. T is equal to commodity taxation, and S is equal to subsidy.